I don't remember her saying that she did tell Meredith about the Seth lunch. That's the part I can't really remember. But then they're all like, they go and have this conversation, Bronwyn and Meredith, up on the rooftop of this place where they're staying, and have this discussion. And Meredith completely denies asking her about what was said at lunch. She completely denies all of it.
Welcome to Cocktails and Gossip, the podcast where we drink cocktails, but you better believe we're going to spill the tea. We chat reality TV, celebrity blinds, and the hottest tea from BravoandCocktails.com. And as always, it's all alleged and just for fun. We do not verify our blinds. I'm B.
And I'm Amanda. Let's get into this week's tea.
What's up, cocktailers? Hi, Amanda.
Hi, B. Hey, cocktailer.
I am so excited to hang this weekend. Amanda and her husband are coming to New York. We will be recording, I think we're just going to do a cocktail pod on Saturday, which, you know what I was thinking today, actually?
Ooh, what?
So Tracy's coming to hang with us because we're all going to dinner, the three of us and our husbands. We're going to an iconic New York restaurant. It's an Italian spot that Bethany actually took the ladies on Roni to. The bread basket is a thing of beauty. We will be sharing pictures and all of that. Obviously not like of our faces, but you know what I mean. And then Amanda and I have a super fun event. But wait, I can never keep one train of thought. I was thinking, okay, so we're going to record the cocktail pod before dinner, but like in the afternoon, and me, you, and Tracy are going to hang before we get together with the husbands.
Right.
So you know that there's going to be Prosecco involved.
Of course.
But then I'm like, we have to take it easy because we're going to get to dinner.
I know.
Like, we don't have a good track record. Me and you don't have a good track. We don't get to see each other enough. So when we do, we just go.
We get excited. I know. Maybe we'll do like in the back of the Uber.
One bottle of Prosecco, like
yes,
during our cocktail thing.
Our limit. But maybe we'll do like an in the back of the Uber recording after dinner or something that may never see the light of day. We'll see.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I can't wait. We're so excited. Of course, I just told B, I was like, I'm stressing about what to wear because something that you guys might not know about me. I hate to shop. I am not.
I do. We have too much in common. I don't mind shopping online, but like I'm not an in-the-store shopper, and you're going to have to go in the store. There's no time for anything to ship to you.
No, I know. And I don't even I am not an online browser. I am not a whatever. Like I will go and if I will go in and like once every few months, go into like a few stores and just try to buy a few things, like a bunch of things, and then I don't want to do it again for another few months. It's like a blessing and a curse, I feel like, because I don't have a lot of like, oh, this would be the perfect outfit because I just bought it thinking like this might be cute for a fun night out in New York City. I don't have anything like that.
I don't have like go-to. I feel like I try. Okay. Over the course of this podcast, I have definitely gotten like good pieces. I have good jackets.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a good leather jacket. Actually, my husband got me one from Quince for Christmas. It's so nice. I have to show it to you. Like I can't wear it yet because it's cold in New York. Well, actually, it's supposed to be warm this weekend, so maybe I will wear that with my outfit. But I digress. I have a really good faux fur. I have good jeans. But like when it comes to tops, I just have so many. I don't have like staple pieces that like, okay, this is a perfect top to wear to an event with a pair of black jeans on Monday night. Like I don't have that, which is why I'm constantly buying stuff that I sort of like.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Anyway, luckily I will be in.
Or maybe we both just have ADD, so we love it at the time, but we're never going to have those pieces because our minds change too quickly.
That could be. I am more of a like I will buy nicer things that are a little bit more expensive and not as frequent, but still, like I think part of it too is like I am just not at a stage in my life where like I'm buying things to go out for a really nice night anymore. You know, like I have a few things like that, but because I'm doing more of kids' sports and school functions and yes, dinner with my husband.
Like even my date night. Yeah, but like our date nights are like I can wear like a nice sweater and jeans and I'm like date night ready. Like I'm not going to the Rainbow Room. Do you even know what the rainbow
Yes,
room is?
I do know what the rainbow room is.
Yeah. So I was always like, my mom would always be like, what do you think? You go into the rainbow room? Or like, yeah, most iconic.
Ah, cute. So yeah, so we're so excited, and we'll be sharing a little bit more with you guys as soon as we can about the event, but we're both very excited. And I do have to say, hearing about this restaurant and about the bread basket, Tracy's text, it's like it just says bread basket and then like the water droplet
No, yeah.
emoji. I'm like, oh my God. I'm just
And we're not overselling it. That's the best part.
Oh,
Like, you definitely have never seen anything like that.
okay. Well, we'll take a picture of the bread basket so we can share with you guys. And I will give you my honest first timers opinion because I do eat bread and I love bread. So I will tell you guys what I
But
think.
that's the problem. We can't fill up on the bread.
Oh,
Well, I plan on I'll have some munchies for us at my house, but we're going to keep it light because we're going to eat a lot of things.
yeah, for sure. Definitely. Okay. So some gossip came up recently that's not reality television related, but felt very within our purview of things to talk to. Ashley Tisdale, who was in High School Musical, like a bunch of more of a child teen, I think, actress. So she has had mom drama that has been unfolding. So she published an essay called Breaking Up with My Toxic Mom Group in The Cut. She shared her experience that she had this friendship circle of moms that became emotionally draining and felt like it was not just her, but she seemed like there were weird exclusionary vibes with another woman in the group as well. She was like, people have been telling me this is very relatable. And she encourages other people to set their boundaries when friendships stop being supportive. So she didn't name any of the women in the group. But of course, because she's been seen in pictures on Instagram with other celebrity moms, people, fans, magazines, they're all trying to figure out who is in that group. Right after she published that essay, Ashley unfollowed Hilary Duff and Mandy Moore on Instagram, but she still follows Meghan Trainor, who is reputed to be in this toxic mom group. Ashley's people have come out and said, this essay wasn't about any of those people. It's being misinterpreted. And the point is really about it's a relatable thing that a lot of moms go through versus calling out specific people. So then Matthew Coma, who is Hilary Duff's husband, came out a couple of days later, publicly mocked Ashley Tisdale on Instagram and called her self-obsessed and tone-deaf in reaction to this essay. What do you think, Bea?
Okay, so first, the Matthew Coma, Hilary Duff part of it, I would like to quote our girl Nene when I say, stay out of women's business. Mm-hmm. My immediate reaction to seeing that picture was ick. I don't think there's any scenario where my husband would publicly involve himself. The only scenario I could see is if somebody got violent with me. Perhaps he would say something. Outside of that, I don't think it's his place to say something.
He would say something privately, but not publicly. Yeah.
But if we're going to put it on our terms, I guess, obviously, since we're not famous, it would never be a magazine. But let's say a sports group chat. We all have our parents' sports group chat, which, by the way, my husband isn't even in. Some of the dads are. I just handle those chats, but that's whatever. That's a preference thing. But let's say I would equate it to, women on a sports team having a disagreement and a husband weighing in on the group chat and saying something, right? So that was my immediate reaction to his part of it. My second reaction was, this is Hollywood's very own mom talk, minus the swinging. I also kind of feel like I'm kind of here for this innocent drama. Nobody's dead. Nobody banged anybody's husband. It seems very girl next door, vanilla drama,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. I am definitely have been following this story because reading about it, I'm like, this actually is relatable and it does happen a lot. Even the example that you just gave of the sports team thing, I have seen parents get very nasty with each other about sports. I even like people who were previously friendly with each other. So, I read the article, like I read her essay in the cut, and some of the stuff that she did say like did resonate because she said, when I first became a mom, I had this village of moms kind of who helped me figure out. She's like, I looked up to them because, they were moms who were working and like figuring it out too. And I'm like, I can relate to that. But she said, but starting last year, she started to notice that she wasn't being invited to stuff. And so then after she was fed up, she sent a text to the whole group that said, this is too high school for me and I don't want to take part in it anymore. And then she says it didn't go over well. She said some moms tried to smooth things over. One of them sent flowers and then ignored her when she reached out to thank that mom. Another tried to convince her that they all assumed that she had been invited to things, which I was like, oh, I can totally see that happening. Because, like, I've been there too.
Oh, I thought Jen told you. Oh, Kim didn't tell you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And then there's been, like, events where, like, I have been out with friends that I don't post on social media because I don't want to make anybody feel bad because they weren't there. I've seen this. So, like, there's been rifts within my friend groups. I had a friend who told me once, mean mom, mean kid. And that has really proven to be true. So while I wouldn't have sent a text to everybody in a group like that, like I understood where she was kind of coming from. She was like, I am being excluded. But, I think all of this kind of comes down to, in my opinion, most mean girls don't just grow up and stop being mean one day. I think, that they find a new outlet. And so I couldn't agree with you more about Matthew Coma getting involved. That's just icky.
I also because our kids are school age, but like old, like not elementary school anymore. We all have, if we have kids, gone through different, you evolve. When everyone's a baby, everything's kind of equal playing field usually, right? And then things shift and people choose to go to different schools. Who does public school? Who does private school? Who moves? There's so many different things. And for me, what I've always felt and the separation I've always done is I'm very fortunate that a lot of my own friends, right? So I have my childhood friends, I have my college friends, and I have my mom friends. And my feeling was like, yes, there are certainly moms that I click more with. And like, regardless of if our kids click, like I have friends who our kids like don't even necessarily really hang out, but we're friends since they were babies. And I don't mean that they dislike each other, right? I mean, like, you know what? My son plays this sport and their son plays that sport and they go to different schools. And so like, if we're all together, they get along fine, but they don't necessarily hang out on their own, right? But by and large, if my kids like another kid and I know that my kid's going to their house and they're safe, like I think I learned when my kids are young, you're not necessarily going to find your best friends in mom groups. It's amazing if you do. And certainly I have found very good friends through my kids' sports and when my kids were little, and I maintain those relationships, as I said, sometimes independent of whether or not our kids are even in school together anymore or on the team together.
Right.
But with that said, I kind of take it like I would never send a group like that because ultimately it's not about me. If these are my mom friends, it's about my kid. And if my kid likes hanging out with their kids, I'm not going to put my kid in a position like that. So, and of course, I don't know. I don't know the ages of the kids. I don't know how it would affect. I don't know if the kid was being excluded and mom. And, that's another real thing that I think moms carry the burden of. And I'm sure in some cases, dads too. Like the same way that when we were kids, we were excluded from things. There are situations where my kids have been excluded. And it hurts me a lot more than me being excluded. I have a pretty tough skin. I honestly am the sort of person where I feel like if you don't like me, then you're really missing out. Like, you know what? Listen, my dance card's full, baby. If you don't invite me, I'm good. And I try to teach my kids the same thing. Like, you're respectful of everybody. You do not have any obligation to be anybody's best friend unless you want to be.
Right.
But we are respectful. We do not gossip. That's out. As long as we're respectful to people, you're under no obligation to invite everybody in your class to everything, but you also can't hand the invitations out in class.
Yeah.
So like there's so many complications. I think that we can all resonate. And I think we're all learning as we go. And every time you think you've mastered a stage, your kid's at a new age and you got to figure it out all over again.
I have been feeling that so hard this year. So hard.
Yes. And I mean, you and I, so Amanda and I are doing the same transitions because our kids are the same age and they're hard. And, I'm not the one who's going to text a whole group of people because I'm not a person who believes if you're in a huge mom group and there's 10 moms in that group, you ain't best friends with all 10 moms.
Right.
And anyone who thinks they are is delusional. So
Right.
if I had a group and I felt that somebody who I had a good relationship, me and you, had an issue with, I would call you and I would address it directly.
Same.
Outside of that, I would never have a group discussion about being left out. I would just get the memo and keep it moving and hope that it didn't affect my kid negatively.
Yes, because I will say, like, it's such a good point because back to sports too, I have seen so many parents act so inappropriately, both like on the field, near the field, completely off the field on texts, literally not even kidding you. This was not a parent that was a parent from my school, but there was a parent who got kicked out of a basketball game. And then my husband and I were like some of the first to walk out because we didn't have my kids that night. And so we were waiting for, the kids to be finished talking to the coach. Talk about jump scare. The mom was waiting outside in the dark and starts screaming at us as we walked out. And I was like, what the
Now, are you friendly with that mom?
No, I don't know her because she went to a
the
different
other
school.
team?
But I am like, this woman can't be doing her kid any favors in life in general. If she is that erratic
100%.
to be
100%.
hiding in the dark and like screaming at other parents who like, we didn't have any interaction with her. We were just sitting in the bleachers. Just wild. Anyway,
Well, that's
like
the thing.
anything.
You have to model the behavior too, and it's not easy. And I don't mean to sound like holier than thou that my feelings have never been hurt in a mom group or anything.
Yeah.
But I also recognize that like I'm modeling the behavior.
Right.
And so I have a positive opinion of myself, and I want my children to have positive opinions of themselves.
Cocktailers, clean meals deserve clean kitchenware. Caraway cookware is designed with a third-party tested, non-toxic ceramic coating that's made without forever chemicals, supporting a health-conscious lifestyle. I want to tell you a little story. You all know we love our Caraway products here at Cocktails and Gossip, and I love to give the things that I love to the people I love. This year, I gave the baking sheet and cooling duo from Caraway to my sister-in-law for Christmas. And she put it to use in the days after, making oven-baked wings for her family in the baking sheet. Usually the extra breading kind of falls off and kind of burns into the pan, but not this time because she used her new Caraway baking sheet. It fell off, but it turned into like delicious little chips of breading that didn't stick and made a delicious extra little treats. Because the bakeware is so well made, things don't stick to it, so cleanup is also a breeze. With Caraway, you can also personalize your kitchen with fun add-ons like their new bar set. It's crafted from rust-resistant 304 stainless steel. Each tool delivers high-performance cleaner prep and longer-lasting durability for smoother pours and enhanced flavors. Over 100,000 people have rated 5 stars about their Caraway kitchen. Now it's time to try it for yourself. Caraway's cookware set is a favorite for a reason, and it can save you $190 versus buying the items individually. Plus, if you visit carawayhome.com/gossip, you can take another 10% off of your next purchase. This deal is exclusive for Cocktails and Gossip listeners, so visit carawayhome.com/gossip or use code GOSSIP at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic kitchenware made modern.
This year, Quince was my go-to for holiday gifting. I have a really funny story for you guys. I went on the site and I was browsing around looking for a gift for Amanda. I saw a beautiful cashmere throw. I said, this is perfect. I actually pictured her binging our reality shows, curled up in her Quince cashmere throw. Awesome price point, but amazing quality and looks and would be so much more expensive elsewhere. I said, this is the perfect gift. I received my holiday gift for Amanda, and it was also a cashmere throw. Different pattern, different color, but a cashmere throw from Quince, which is hysterical because, as you guys know if you've been on their site, they have everything from clothing to home goods, candles. They have it all. Every piece is made with premium materials from ethical, trusted factories and priced far below what other luxury brands charge. The craftsmanship shows in every detail. The stitching, the fit, the drape, elevated, timeless, and made to wear on repeat. My husband knows how much I love Quince, and for Christmas, he got me a leather jacket. It is better than jackets I've paid triple the price for. It's warm, looks sharp, and the leather is quality. None of that stiff, cheap stuff. Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Don't wait. Go to quince.com/cocktails for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/cocktails to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/cocktails. If you're left out, number one, it's not always personal. Everybody can't be invited to everything.
Yes.
So it's not always that somebody just can't stand you. It's that, you know what? They had 3 or 4 people that they wanted to include. And unfortunately, this time you weren't one of them. And guess what? Like I always say, when my kid's like, I wasn't invited. I'm like, okay, I want you to really sit and be honest. And if you were only inviting a couple of friends, would they be the friend you, because oftentimes it's like a friend who's a friend, but not like the closest friend. So if you're doing a thing where you're going to the mall with 3 or 4 kids, would they be your 3 or 4? Because if the answer's no, then stop expecting to be. And of course, it hurts if it is one of the ones you would pick. You know, like, so there's all these things. And I just, again, I don't know. I'm like a woman in my 40s. I feel like I know who my friends are. And I think it's more important for me, for my kids to understand and establish like what's important to them in a friend.
Right.
And like modeling that by not, you know, like if I were upset about the way a parent acted in a game, like I wouldn't say it in front of my kid. Like I'd try to downplay it, you know, because what good does it do?
Well, right. So you know, maybe you model for your kid and then you handle your business privately. You don't send, because again, I am always so conscious of how my actions can affect my children. So same, like then you handle your business privately and you do your best because, you know, you don't burn bridges like that. Because, I mean, even the parents that she was apparently cool with are probably feeling a type of way about her now, too. Interesting. We'll keep an eye. We'll see if we can find out more about who is in and who is out of that mom group for you guys.
Yes. We got to talk Salt Lake City, guys.
Of course.
You know, I hate to say we did it again, but we did it again. We posted after the reunion was recorded, filmed, that there was a rumor that Bronwyn announced her separation. Now, it kind of took steam. I don't think Bronwyn ever actually confirmed it, but she didn't deny it, which we took as a confirmation. And sure enough, in the reunion trailer, Bronwyn does say to Andy that her and Todd are separated. And then last night, I'm literally minding my business. I try so hard sometimes to mind my business. I was like, I just got home from one of my kids' sporting events. I was absolutely shot. I took a shower and was ready to doze off. There it is. Todd spotted and shot out. You guys loved it. We loved it. The cocktailers had their friend take a picture of them, but of course went wide frame. So they're posing in the picture and right next to them is Todd and a woman.
So good.
They were on a date at Sons Bar in the West Village. I covered her face with an emoji for privacy purposes, but everyone wants to know what was her age. I zoomed in. I would say late 30s, early 40s. I would say she looked similar age to Bronwyn, clearly much younger than him, but in no way like a child or something. Like she was, you know, she was an adult.
Not in her 20s.
No. Actually, I don't want to say looked like Bronwyn, but like a similar look, small facial features and like kind of like preppy dressed and like, you know, like kind of like he's got a type. Not nearly as pretty as Bronwyn. I shouldn't say that. That's catty, but it's just true.
People have types and that is normal. It's also normal for people to date other people during separation. But when I saw that post, I felt terrible for Bronwyn. because that's gotta hurt just to see those pictures. And I'm gonna be Hattie and just say Todd did not look very good or very
He looked like he had gained a lot of weight.
He looked very unhealthy. And then I started
His skin, he didn't look
it looks
great.
a little gray, like not sick, just not healthy. But then I started to imagine him like tooting on that bar stool. And then I felt better for Bronwyn.
Well, here's the thing. I know, like you said, it's normal for people to date during separation. Here's my thing. I think Todd's always been doing this. I think when he's out of town, I don't know if it's an app. I don't know if there's some sugar baby daddy app or if there are just tons of attractive women around all these cities he travels to that are attracted to him. But, he was spotted on a plane looking at stuff. It's like, I don't think this is new for them. I think what's new is that they're now public figures. And so she separated from him because he just wasn't willing to cut the shit out. Like, I remember there's so much talk about Seth and Meredith, but when they first came on the show, it was very clear that there was something brewing there. And we'll get to that because we're going to talk about the Meredith and Seth and all of that. But there have been, and we get the receipts, guys. I don't need to post any more receipts than we already do to prove that we do. Like, if Seth was on all these dates in New York City, we got cocktailers in the streets, baby. We would see it. So,
yeah,
it was definitely projection which we'll get to as we keep chatting.
I have my own opinions about that too. So I'm excited to talk about that in a minute. We saw in the preview for the reunion that Andy apparently walked off the reunion for the first time ever.
I actually Googled it because I was making a meme that said like Andy walks off for the first time with like a picture of him walking off. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm right. And sure enough, he has discussed. He's like, I've never actually walked off. I almost did at a Jersey one. I almost did it in OC one. And we don't know if he comes right back or how long he walked off for. I'm sure he does come back. I have to imagine it was when Angie and Lisa were just screaming at each other.
Yeah.
But we're going to have next week to chat about that. So let's get into the finale episode.
Yeah, let's do it.
It seems to me that Meredith does and says things off camera that she hopes or probably says don't bring it up on camera. And when it's brought up on camera, she just goes straight to like, nope, didn't happen.
Yeah. So I think the Greek playwright was very right that she hides behind semantics. I think, tell me what you think. So for you guys who haven't seen it yet, this isn't a huge spoiler. Bronwyn at lunch with Mary and Whitney is talking, like they're all talking about being worried about Meredith, and then Bronwyn tells a story that when she was in New York, that she saw Seth at lunch with a woman and never told Meredith about it. So then fast forward to 2:30 in the morning in Greece, where Bronwyn gets a text from Meredith saying, hey, are you still up? Can you talk? So they go and they talk in the house, and Bronwyn says the next morning to Mary that Meredith was essentially asking her for information, asking her what was said during that lunch. But I don't remember her saying that she did tell Meredith about the Seth lunch. That's the part I can't really remember. But then they're all like, they go and have this conversation, Bronwyn and Meredith, up on the rooftop of this place where they're staying, and have this discussion, and Meredith completely denies asking her about what was said at lunch. She completely denies all of it.
So here's the thing, because on the one hand, I can see Bronwyn's point and the examples that were used in the episode, like something that Bronwyn said to Meredith about Whitney that then Meredith threw out at lunch. So I can see what she's saying about Meredith taking what Bronwyn says and using it against the ladies.
Right.
And putting Bronwyn. So I see that side of it. However, Meredith is asking what was said at lunch because obviously she felt, whether she was tipped off, and I don't think Mary or Whitney told her, whether she was tipped off by production, whether she just had a sense that they were talking about her because she has been under a microscope and she's a smart woman, she's picking up on it, about their concern for Meredith. But more importantly, at that lunch, Bronwyn brought up her and Todd seeing Seth in New York. So I find it interesting when Bronwyn says to Mary, oh, I didn't tell her, I danced around it. Yeah, you didn't tell her because this time it was you who brought up some bullshit about you and Todd seeing Seth in New York having lunch with a woman. She made it sound like he was up to no good. And then at the Greek tragedy play, it was very odd the way she threw it out there and then like reeled it all the way back. Yeah. And I saw Seth in New York and Meredith's like, okay. And they're all like, and I don't know who he was. And then Bronwyn's like, I don't know who he was with. And it was a work lunch. It's like, wait, what? She's like, and in my marriage, when I felt, and Meredith is like, no, stop right there. Like, my husband was in New York for work. Why are you making this into a thing? And then saying, well, in my marriage, like, just because that's what happens in your, it was such projection. And again, I found it weird. Did you find that scene super weird?
Well, I still was just like, it was like watching a ping pong match because I'm like, who's lying, right? Because I felt like Bronwyn kind of walked it back, but not because it was so much of a lie, but just because she never really was sure. And she maybe was trying to dampen like the hurt towards Meredith's feelings. Like, that's where I was like, I really couldn't tell. So then I had to go down to the body language, which...
No, see, I don't think it was that. I think she didn't think it was anything and was just trying to Bronwyn and was trying to turn it into something because, listen, there's a lot of things we could say about Meredith, but the reality about her marriage is first season, they were very open about, they were like sort of separated. And then when Lisa had that flip out and she said she fucked half of New York, I think it's known that they both were kind of doing their own thing. And then they worked on their marriage and got back together.
Yeah.
And ever since then, there is speculation, but we have never had a receipt. We have never seen anything that Seth is out there cheating. Like the pictures I got last night, like pictures I posted over the years about a variety of housewives whose husbands are locking lips with people in bars and clubs and this and that. I've never received it, and it's never been. A TikTok of somebody saying they saw is not proof.
I agree.
It's like there is this seed of doubt about their marriage because they came on separated, and so they keep going with that. And I think that's what Bronwyn did. She was keeping that narrative that, you know, Brittany started with the TikTok going because Bronwyn in that moment wanted to get at Meredith. She shouted at her on the terrace. Yeah. And if she had evidence and she knew, she would have said it. And I saw him with the woman, and the woman had was 5'6", blonde hair, and they were all over it. She didn't say any of that.
So on that topic, that is there's a detail that I just keep turning over and over again in my mind because, of course, I think about if this were me, right? And if I had been Bronwyn. And like, by the way, I have lunch with men who are not my husband for business lunches and would be happy if a friend came up and said hi, and then I would introduce them, like, no big deal, right? Right. But I can't figure out, like, why. Because if it were me, if I were Bronwyn and I saw Seth in New York, I would go up and be like, oh my gosh, so crazy. It's so good to see you. Just had to say hi. Let's take a selfie. We'll send it to Meredith. So weird that we are in the same place in a city where none of us live. And then that way you're also assuming in that situation that it's an innocent thing. I mean, if I saw signs of like they're touching, they're holding hands, then I would probably not say hi. But then I would go sneak a picture and still send it to Meredith because, like, I'm a girl's girl. And so, I mean, don't you agree? Don't you think that the whole...
Unless Bronwyn saw him and held it for a storyline.
That's where I'm like there's
knew
something
it was
weird about the way Bronwyn treated that information. Yes.
Like knew or didn't know if it was something, but either way figured she could keep it in her back pocket, which is exactly what she did.
I don't know. I think it was...
Which makes her very manipulative.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I was also like watching this episode because the episode is a little different, right? Because there's usually like a big confrontation and a dinner and all of that. And there really wasn't that. But you could see like Meredith said that Bronwyn said that she was nervous. And then Bronwyn said that Meredith said that she was nervous because if you're on a housewives trip and it's the last day and you're getting ready to go to dinner and you don't know what's being served for dinner, it's you. And I think that that's what they were like. I think that's what like some of them were really fighting about. And that's why this whole finale episode was kind of odd because there was none of that. And then there was not really resolution, I don't feel like, after. It just kind of was.
Yeah. Like I said, I found the whole thing weird. And then when I saw at the end of the scene, when I saw Heather walking out with Bronwyn, it just felt like something Heather and Whitney cooked up with
Yeah,
Bronwyn.
it did. It felt.
That's how it
was
felt
upset.
to me.
It did.
And I think that's what we're going to see at the reunion. And I think Bronwyn is hoping that this separation will shield her. And I think she's dead wrong because I don't think Meredith gives a fuck. And I think she's going to go in.
Yeah, of course.
And I also think that I think that Bronwyn is separated because she realized whatever their arrangement is was not going to pass the sniff test with these women.
Yeah.
And so she had no choice. And so first season when she started with he betrayed me, I think that was all true. And I think she walked it back because he asked her to. I think that then this season when he continued his dalliances, and I don't even know what she was talking about because I never saw it on any social media that he was looking at pictures or whatever that was. I just think she knew that these were things that he did. And so she brought it up so that she could soft launch him as a cheater, and now they're separated. And I just think it's like projection. Or maybe Bronwyn thinks Seth is doing this. Like maybe she really believes he's doing this, but doesn't have hard evidence, but like has heard it and believes what she's heard. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was the other thing I was kind of thinking is that maybe she wasn't even the one to see him. It was somebody who sent her a picture and then Bronwyn said it was her, but that she didn't.
Maybe this whole view is like, until any of these ladies have hard evidence, I'm just going to look at them like they're crazy and say my marriage is great.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
All these things could be true.
All of them could. Because, like, I really looking at in that rooftop scene, looking at their body language, I felt like Meredith was hiding something and Bronwyn was frustrated because...
Well, I think Meredith was hiding the fact that she was spinning. Like, the text messages were innocuous. It was just like, hey, can you come to my room?
Yeah.
But I think Meredith was maybe spinning out and being like, what did you talk about at lunch?
Right.
I have a feeling everyone was talking about me. And maybe Meredith didn't want to act like that on camera. Maybe because, she likes to play this cool monotone, So I don't think Meredith is hiding Seth's cheating. I don't think that Meredith knows Seth's cheating and she hides it.
I don't think so either.
I think that their marriage wasn't great, which we knew about. And I can't say that I'm 100% confident that Seth hasn't cheated. But I don't feel like it's something Meredith has evidence of and believes to be true currently.
Yeah, I agree. Whoever this playwright is, they should come and write lines to the housewives at reunions. Like we have heard that a lot of these housewives do, that they hire comedians to write them one-liners, which is, I think, I always figured that. We got that like little piece of gossip about it. I always kind of knew that. I guess I hadn't really heard any proof. Like, but Teresa especially, I was like, no way those words actually came out of her mouth first. But that playwright...
Not just reunions. I'm sure in confessionals too.
Yeah. That playwright...
And like, honestly, smart. If you're not funny, not everybody can be Paige DeSorbo in a confessional.
Yeah. Or Heather. I think Heather's really funny. Lisa, when they start with Lisa, it's like the eldest, which was funny in its own.
Where's the elders? Wait, Whitney's face in that was just so classic.
It was so good. There were so many good reaction shots from Mary and also just from Brittany, like drinking her wine. Mary is like...
But like, can we all agree that production wrote this play?
I had the same thought. I mean, maybe the playwright watched the show to prep, but I don't think so. I think you're right.
Even if
production had a hand in it.
Oh, it was so spot on.
So, by the way, everybody, we have literally all of the words, like all of what the playwright wrote about each of the women in one of the posts on the website, because as I was kind of going through to try to like put all this in our notes just to talk about, I realized that no article has like written all of it. So it's all there, but we'll cover a couple of the ouchier lines. Angie has daggers that lie beneath her tongue, and she is foolish in her thirst to be the best. Brittany, her words sound like childish noise. Worst of all, you cling to the attention of men like it's a lifeline, so consumed by a man's attention that you barely notice your children fading quietly into the background. Mary speaks with a blade sharpened by truth. Your words sting despite conviction. You must learn, even righteousness must bend for forgiveness. Conviction becomes a cage, which
Yikes.
if any of you guys have been watching the cult to the Real
I mean,
Housewives.
people want us to discuss. So I did watch the docuseries. My takeaway from it was we knew all of this. The only thing, we knew all of it. Like even the comment about the parishioner of hers who died when she said, wear a seatbelt. Like we all thought Mary was a cult leader. We all thought she was cruel. What I will say the docuseries is wrong is,
did you know about the affair?
Yes, I remember all the speculation about that man that was on the season and then passed away. And it felt like uncouth to even talk about because the man had passed away. And so that kind of helped her.
Yeah.
I hate to say that. But yes, we discussed it here. Like because it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we all became reinvested. First of all, we stopped seeing her husband. So we sort of forgot about that weirdness. Okay. Also, her son's addiction and her handling of it humanized her. And then she is funny and she has been softer on camera. But something I think the docuseries got wrong is they made it seem like Mary inherited her grandmother's fortune. So taking over the church, she inherited that. I am not saying that fortune wasn't built off the back of the church in large part, but her grandmother had the church for so many years, took the monies, invested it in real estate, invested it in these things that then Mary inherited via Robert Sr. Okay?
Yeah.
So the idea that on a daily basis, Mary is making the parishioners put money into the thing and is fully profiting off it, I do think to some extent, but I also think that, I guess it's all the same thing, but do you know what I'm saying? Like when she married Robert, she inherited the fortune, which may have been ill-gotten, but it isn't like Mary's like, everybody has to give me $1,000 this month. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But listen, it's weird. The whole thing is weird. She married her grandmother's husband. We knew this. She divorced her husband to marry him. We knew this. The church parishioners have a cult-like obsession with her. We knew this. I don't know what about, unless it's somebody who hasn't watched Housewives, but for Housewives fans, and please guys, let me know, email us, DM me, what about it was new information? Except that it was all packaged together.
Right.
And all of the clips were put together and it was a concise view, whereas everything else was kind of spread out over the course of years and it trickled in and we sort of looked past it because she was off the show for a season. Jen Shah was so revolting that she got all the attention.
Yeah.
Then there was the Monica of it all, which we'll get to that.
Well, and remember, I think it was 2 of the seasons when Mary was on, we didn't see anything about the church. So you kind of, not that you forgot about it, but you kind of forgot about it. Yeah.
Or we thought it was over. I don't know. But should Mary be judged because of that? Yeah. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
And this is the part where we facilitate. Facilitate. Sorry, guys. It was a long day. Between but we want to watch interesting, weird people.
Yeah, we do.
I'm not turning it on to watch Gina and Emily. I'd hang with those girls and get a glass of wine and smoke a J with Gina in a heartbeat. I don't need to see them on my TV. So it's kind of
well, and I mean, who among us didn't watch the Tiger King documentary during COVID? You know, just so wildly wild and different, but interesting. So yeah. I agree with your point.
So we have Monica. You guys remember her. Reality Von Teese. She was on for 1 season. She's making reels. So we all remember that Monica, her claim to fame was that she got outed by Heather as Reality Von Teese, who was DMing all of them in the height of the Jen Shah. And this is when Heather got her receipt, proof, timeline. She was ousted from the cast. The women refused to film with her. She wasn't asked back. She's on social media, quote unquote, coming to Meredith's defense with these shady reels. The first one is something like, well, you say Meredith is an alcoholic, yet she's not the one who had to have her stomach pumped and then demanded production not air it. And then just yesterday, she posted a reel saying that something about cocaine and
hiding cocaine, hoping that they wouldn't find the cocaine in whoever she's talking about, that they wouldn't find the cocaine in her suitcase at BravoCon.
And we can all like deduct that she's talking about Heather, maybe Whitney, maybe both. Heather. We're going to see her say at the reunion, if I had hooked up with Captain Jason, I'd be here in a sailor suit. Okay, girl, but we watch What Happens Live, where when Andy said to you, Jason was on and he said nothing happened, she was annoyed. And she was like, if he said nothing happened, then I guess that's his version. And totally played it like nothing happened. The black eye.
Mm-hmm.
The Captain Jason. I think that Heather does things to be interesting and like we're all caught on and we're all like, do I believe what Monica says? Not really. You know, like, do I think that Heather partied and whatever? Sure. Don't want Monica back.
No.
You know?
No.
But like Heather does not tell the truth. You know, she sits there, she's like an eye open up. And yeah, I mean, you spoke about your Mormonism. If we're to believe that your version of events and everything you've said is true, we have no proof. She has lied many times.
I mean,
the whole Jen Shah, all of it.
This is where I'm just going to admit, like, I heard the saying the other day and I'm running with it. Like, sometimes Delulu is the Solulu. And like, I am choosing to be Delulu. I still like Heather. I can't help it. It does seem like people are over her. I am not, because I find her so funny. I do wish she wouldn't do so much of the self-production and all of these setups, because going back and looking at that Bermuda trip where, you know, she does the whole receipts proof timeline thing on the beach very dramatically before dinner. Like, she was clearly holding on to that entire trip. She didn't just get a phone call that morning and get told. Like, of course not, you know? And looking back at that kind of stuff, it did make a great moment, but does she need to be doing this all the time? Absolutely not. So I don't know. Like I said, until sometimes Delulu is a Salulu, and I'm going to go with that with her. I think Monica talking about cocaine felt like really low and dirty and like very much Monica. So I don't think part of me kind of wants her to bring Reality Von Teese back, but I never want to see her again.
Yeah, I don't know. And then I think that once Salt Lake City is off and we've all had a beat and Heather comes back. And, you know, one thing about Heather is she's smart. I don't think she's a person without self-awareness. So I think that she will be able to pivot and learn from the feedback of fans.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I feel like she had a good season after she lied about the black eye. Well, I guess she used Monica there, but...
Was it the Black Eye? It was the Black Eye season, the one right after... Was that season 2? Because she had a lot of backlash after...
Yes. And then she had a good couple of seasons. Yeah. And then, like, I feel like we even supported her with the Monica of it all. Because to be honest, I do think the cast overreacted and, like, it was wild. But I didn't want Monica back anyway, so I was okay with it.
Yeah. Monica can leave.
But, like, looking at it, like, objectively, like, what right do they have to demand her off when everyone's in the DMs and everyone's leaking and, like whatever? So she had a social media account. So she still had connections to Jen Shah and you girls. Like, why can't she be on the cast?
Well, I think nobody really liked her, too. And that's pretty big.
Well, a lot of fans, there was, like, fans who wanted her back.
Yeah, I wasn't. The other women didn't seem to care for her, and that's a pretty big problem. You can only go along with that for so long. But let's talk a little piece of Southern Charm gossip that we just got. So today we just posted that Charlie, who is the newbie on Southern Charm, that she is in a relationship with Justin Asada, who has done a couple of reality shows, Surviving Paradise and Perfect Match on Netflix. And apparently he's going to be on Southern Hospitality this season. And last year he dated country singer Maren Morris. So, of course, I looked him up. Cute, dark curly hair, like beard, like not like strikingly handsome, but like
not Craig.
Kind of, yeah, like very like more like Boy Next Door. Very, very cute Boy Next Door.
I like Charlie. I think I don't know the guy. I looked him up when one of you guys sent us this tea. I agree with you. Cute. Seems kind of thirsty to me. He's been on a lot of reality shows and We'll see.
Or maybe he's just looking for love, B.
And I mean, who wouldn't love her? She's pretty and smart, and like I like Charlie. I think she's
I do too.
fantastic. I think that watching Southern Charm, and I understand, and I know I'm a Craig apologizer, but I understand Craig's fault. It's not that I don't. But I also think the only one who's giving him any grace is Madison, who says, like, it's very obvious he's not over Paige.
Yeah.
And he's filming this like as he's processing their breakup. It is a couple months later. So he is dipping his toe into the dating pond. I'm sure that Charlie kind of felt like he wasn't ready to date, and which is, I don't know. I'm guessing why they didn't work out. The Vanita of it all, it's like confusing for me because she's so mad at him. But if she were dating somebody, like, I think anyone can understand his position. She sided with Paige and he wasn't happy about it and was like, well, I guess she's not my friend. So I'm confused as to what he did that was so terrible other than say, well, she's not a great friend of mine. When he had his party, he invited her. He was like, well, I'm not going to exclude her. I mean, side note, she's filming. So, but he could have, listen, Craig, Shep, and Austin are the main stars. He could have, like, when people are like, oh, he tried to push her out of filming. Did he? Because when production said you have to invite Vanita, he invited her.
He invited her.
But
yeah.
Does he have to be her best friend and be like, oh, it's totally fine that you said you didn't feel bad for me? And Vanita also said, like, oh, he's loving the attention from the breakup. I don't think that's fair. I mean, Vanita was in a, like, non-monogamous relationship with JT and seemed like upset about it, which is totally fine. You don't have to be monogamous with somebody to be upset.
Right.
But, like, nobody said to her, well, he wasn't even your boyfriend. Like, do you know, like, he was in a relationship with Paige for 3 years. You sided with the girl who broke up with him. Now, understand very clearly, Paige wanted to break up with him. That's totally fine. But had Craig cheated or done something awful to Paige and Vanita sided with him, I'd feel very different.
Right.
But I think my feeling is, since he's the one who got broken up with and you are quote unquote his friend, it did sort of feel like you were kicking him when he was down.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I think she did it for a storyline. Because what other storyline does she have now that JT's not there?
I think you've got a really good point. Something else that I won't take credit for this. It's one of the cocktailers, and I just can't remember because, you know, we get into these Discord conversations, so I apologize. But I think this was 2 different cocktailers who said 2 different things. One was that had a theory that what if Vanita actually has had a really big crush on Craig and that's what this is all about. And another person said, if only Vanita and Craig could, like, see past this, like, they could be such a great duo as really good friends together. And, like, I look at that
and
and
hopefully they get to this point. I think
agree.
that he's hurt. And I also think, has anyone ever considered he's hurt and Vanita's doubling down and acting like he's the bad guy? Why? Because he's upset with his friend for taking his ex-girlfriend's side when his ex-girlfriend dumped him. Think about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. I mean, whatever the thing is, if he made a video for sympathy or whatever it is, as his friend, why are you mad at him? He got broken up with. Again, if he had cheated or done something terrible, then it would be different. And the other thing for me is, I think it's a classic case, and we see housewives do this, of Vanita maybe not wanting to show her life. So what is more convenient to do?
Mm-hmm.
Take somebody else's storyline and get scenes off of that. And, like, I always have a problem with that. When it's housewives doing it, like, it's smart.
Yeah.
Because you're protecting your peace. And if she was dating somebody or whatever she is, because she's out, she's hanging, she's a beautiful girl. She's got a great personality. I'm sure she's got plenty going on that she could show us.
She's not just home talking to her dog all the time.
Right. So am I supposed to believe that all she has going on is that and a beef with Craig? Stop it right now.
Yeah.
So that's just my feeling. I think it's a convenient storyline for her. And I think at the end of it, she'll make up with him and they'll move on, because I don't think it's that deep for her.
Yeah.
You know, but, like, I don't know. No. I get the feeling disloyal. Like, you and I are primary friends, okay?
Right.
You like my husband. If something happened and you went out on Cocktail Pod and you were like, well, just so you know, like, B is taking this too hard and her husband is in the right. But I'm saying, like, that's what happened. I'm not saying Craig and Vanita are as close as you and I are, but you know what I mean.
No, it's such a, like, it feels
like
a
you're
little
friends
absurd.
with Larry. Put it that way. You're friends with Larry. You're not best friends with Larry.
Yeah.
If you hung out with Larry and his fiance, and Larry and his fiance whatever
Or
happened.
you and Larry were in a fight, and then I took Larry's side in something publicly.
It's about
It'd be crappy. Yeah, I totally agree. I think Vanita's in the
Like
wrong.
nobody on Paige's cast took Craig's side, and you didn't have to slam. But they didn't all slam him. Wes and Jesse never came out and slammed him. They stayed out of it. It wasn't their business. I'm sure if a side had to be chosen, clearly it would be their friend Paige. That's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You either say nothing or stick with your friend. That's my opinion. That's how I operate as a friend. So in this case, whatever people's feelings are about Craig or whatever that is, in this case, it's a very clear. She showed up to his party, so she can't hate him that much.
I think too that there's been something going on for the last, I want to say 2 to 3 years, specifically with Craig, in that his success has gotten to be so big, and that before, when people would take shots at him, they would kind of do it through Paige because they knew that would hurt. And now he doesn't have that, and they're all going just directly at him again. And I really do think a lot of it is jealousy, because like a lot of the things, like, of course he's done some crappy things, but like the way he gets raked over the coals, when you look at the stuff that Shep does on a regular basis, like there's no comparison. None.
First of all, Shep being stuck in St. Bart's and being at Nikki Beach, I think, and taking a random video and having it be Giselle and her daughters. First of all, what a coincidence. The fact that man didn't even notice.
I know.
Because if he noticed, he'd be like, I'm stuck, and guess who else? A housewife. Like,
can I just
to your point, he doesn't get the backlash.
He doesn't. He just skates on by, but everybody like goes after Craig for every single little thing. Total side note, St. Bart's have some friends who have been recently to be there like during Christmas, New Year's, for Giselle to be sitting there with her 3 daughters for a lunch. According to lunch at Nikki Beach is usually like, it turns into, like you might have brunch, but then they'll like kind of close it down like late afternoon and then open it back up in the evening. But like you're still having like, that is an easily $10,000-$11,000 lunch that she's having that we just happened to see. It is so wildly expensive there. So I'm like, the people that like have been poking fun at Giselle for her bad clothes, I'm like, she's clearly doing fine financially if she's taking her 3 girls to lunch at Nikki Beach over the New Year's holiday. Like more offset.
I hope so. We know some of these women live, but I don't see Giselle doing that. I think she's very responsible. I didn't see Wendy doing it, but good for Giselle. Honestly, when I see that, I like can't wait for my kids to be older and like do those things with them. I don't mean I won't be at Nikki Beach spending $11,000 on a lunch, but like to do like fun, like it's as a parent, like you like mourn the old phases, but then you enjoy the new phases and like look forward to the future phases when you see other when I see Ashley on screen with her adorable little boys, I'm like, I miss when my kids were little. And then when I see Giselle at a lunch like that, I'm like, ooh, in a few years I could sip Prosecco with my kids.
Yeah, that'd be so fun. I agree.
Again, just not to pat us on the back, but Lisa and Jody have called it quits. I think we mentioned it last pod.
Yeah.
We had intel that they split. We knew that they had hit a rough patch. We had shared that with you guys. He is a thirst bucket. I'm sorry. But somebody posted, where's Lisa? He doesn't have to respond and say, we went our separate ways, but I still care deeply and want what's best for her. Dude, we didn't know you before. We won't know you after.
Yeah.
And good for her. Lisa, be single.
Yes, be single. That's exactly what I think. Just take some time. Take the time that you don't have your kids and like get some sleep. Go out and have some fun. Like have your hot girl Miami season.
Alexia in Paris with Todd. No shocker. They've been spotted in Miami. Listen to me. Why I don't like Todd is this reason. They're split. He sues the network. Why are you getting back with this guy? He tried to ruin your livelihood. He is suing the network that employs you. It does not get any worse than that. Yeah, he dropped the lawsuit. But obviously they were split when he sued because I don't think that he would do that.
But I think they've been pretty much together throughout most of this time. Like, I think she was secretly with him while the lawsuit was going on.
And it just makes me so mad at him, but also at her. Because when are you going to acknowledge the disrespect?
She can do so much better. She is so...
Like, if my husband sued you, I'd have a problem with that. Like, it's her employer. Like, what is happening here? Does he want her to be totally financially dependent on him so she can't leave? That makes sense. Now you don't have a job.
Right.
So now, because I'm sure her salon does well, but come on, being on the show garners her a big check, obviously relevancy, brand deals, all the things, a lot of opportunities, a lot of fun stuff happening for her. And so this jealous motherfucker wants to take it away.
I mean, it's literally
Just get
giving
over him.
her entire platform. It is so insane. I truly, I'm putting out the bad signal. One of our psychologist cocktailers, please do some sort of written study about how these housewives attract these absolute loser men. There are so many good men out there.
Tolerate it's one thing to attract it. It's another thing to tolerate this sort of disrespect.
Yes.
For somebody to cut you down to where if the network really took offense to this,
she'd be gone.
Be stuck.
Oh, she'd be gone.
And she'd be stuck depending on him. And it feels to me, if you're listening, Alexia, like that's what he wants.
Yeah.
Because why else would he do it? He's never going to win that freaking lawsuit. He clearly had to sign something he was filming. Like Bravo's lawyers know what they're doing at this point, or every disgruntled spouse would sue and win.
How is this going to work for you, Alexia, too, when it just comes to just having dinner with your friends that are also housewives? Like, all of them are going to feel the same way. They should.
Yeah.
Be like, you're trying to, you're trying to bite the hand that feeds me.
Right. 100%.
Yeah. Good luck. I mean, hopefully she does listen, and hopefully she does wisen up. And there's so many, she's got plenty of options, and none of them need to be him.
By the time most of you guys are listening to this, me and Amanda will be hanging together in person with Tracy, drinking Prosecco and recording our cocktail pod.
Yes. So guys, if you want to hear the stories and the possible late night Uber recording that we may or may not do and may or may not share, join Cocktail Party, because you'll get to at least hear the stories, because then there will be more stories. We'll tell a little bit more about behind the scenes at this event that we are going to. So we're really looking forward to it. So join Cocktail Party if you haven't had a chance.
And Happy New Year. Did we say that last week? Probably. No, it wasn't New Year yet. Happy New Year.
New Year.
We love you guys. We know there are a million podcasts, and you guys tune into us every week, and it is not taken for granted. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Absolutely.
Till next time.
Bye.
What's up, cocktailers? We want to thank you, as always, for listening to Cocktails and Gossip. Because of you, we've hit some amazing milestones, had some hilarious conversations, and have grown a truly amazing community. If you haven't already followed our podcast, hit the follow button in the top right of your Apple Podcast player, the follow button under the show logo on Spotify, or the subscribe button on Google Podcasts. We thrive on you, our audience. So make sure to tell all your gossip-loving friends about us too. And if you want to get all the tea, join our membership cocktail party by going to bravoandcocktails.com/join. Our members get access to the exclusive tea we post, the weekly podcast without ads, plus another additional bonus podcast every week. And of course, members also get to join us on our monthly live cocktail party Zoom, where we talk about the latest tea and even share tea that's just too hot to put in writing. Last, but maybe best, our members get access to the Cocktail Party Discord, where you can chat with Amanda, me, and all of the other cocktailers as well. There are always some great combos and hilarious comments happening in Discord. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you.